Hi again, everyone, and welcome to another special edition of Litter Media Live. I'm Dan Ramey. We've got David Reitz with us here. We're going to talk to Dave in just a moment about his fundraiser, which is coming up this Thursday. But first, these words from our sponsor.
You haven't had vodka soda like this. No one has. Made with the world's smoothest vodka plus real juice. New White Claw Vodka Soda.
Thank you for Classic Brands sponsoring today's program. And we want to light the night coming up this Thursday. Let's talk first of all. This is a fundraiser for the Lymphoma and Leukemia Association, right?
That is correct. It's the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. So it's called Light the Night Walk, and it's specifically geared towards this fundraising event that they have. They have multiple fundraising events.
This is more than personal. I mean, it's super close to home because you are a survivor.
You are correct, and that is the whole reason I got involved into it. They provided a drug that my insurance company would not provide for me when I was in a trial. And I don't raise my voice that often, but I was livid on the phone with the insurance company. So my first thing was, okay, I'm going to start Googling. I'm going to see who's going to be out there. I Googled LLS, and I called him up, and I told him I had left a message because no one answered the phone. 10 minutes later, someone called me back, which, that doesn't happen very often, not in today's world.
Right.
That young lady on that phone reassured me that that drug would be available for my trial and not to worry about it and worry about my health and getting it back. And it was one of 3 drugs that I took, and it was $300,000 for the trial alone.
Wow. The expense of such drugs is incredible. It's how does anyone, pay for it? They just can't.
It's mind-boggling. If I didn't do the trial, I would say the trial was over $1 million worth of drugs that I did just in a period of 6 months.
Incredible.
And if it wasn't for the OSU and James, I might not be sitting here today.
Yeah. Well, we're glad you're here today to
so am I.
talk about it for sure. Dave is a Chillicothe graduate, and this was home for you for a long time. Went off and went to work, and then came back when you got diagnosed.
I came back in 2015. I was diagnosed in 2014. So God led me in a roundabout way. You need to come back home. So I had spent over 30 years away from Chillicothe, and now I'm back. And I love Chillicothe as a hometown. Yeah. And if you look at some people have said, Dave, you're responsible for the revitalization of Chillicothe because everything started in 2015. That's when the Carlisle built it. I'll take credit for that.
Nothing wrong with that. That's a good guilt by association.
That is definitely.
Well, you have done so much with this walk, and I know you've got a goal for this year financially. Are you close to matching that goal?
I do have a goal. I mean, I will say my biggest stretch goal was in 2019, and that was the year before COVID. We hit almost $11,000.
Is that right?
So that was the benchmark. I haven't been able to get back to that since COVID. We didn't even have the walk during the year of the COVID because I was nervous about bringing people together and saying, I'm going to keep you safe. And plus, I didn't think I could keep myself safe.
Right.
So after that, I've been averaging around, last year was 6,800 to 78,000. So this year, today, I just bypassed the 5,000 mark. So hopefully we can get to my goal of $7,000 for this year. And that is the goal that I obtained. And for the whole, this is the 6th year I've been doing the event. For the whole 6 years, we have raised to date, including this year, $43,000 for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society.
Fantastic. And you've raised awareness as well. And I know I've watched and followed you on Facebook in those 5 years prior to this one. And I reached out to him last year, I think it was, and I said, man, I missed you this year. We got to do something next year. Here we are just a couple days before the event, so we're squeezing it in.
Better late than never.
Yes. But folks will see you walking downtown with these colored lanterns in your hands. Talk about what they represent.
Again, it's not about me. It's about bringing awareness about blood cancers.
Yeah.
And most people don't realize there's only about 1.4 million people walking around in remission or with leukemia in our country. And if you look at that as a percent to total population, we're not even 0.5% of the population.
Yeah.
So in order to bring awareness to blood cancer, for my own instance, when I was diagnosed with leukemia, I'm like, what is leukemia? What did you just diagnose me with? I had to go back and Google it. And I even worked for a company that supported this, and I really wasn't attuned to what leukemia is. But to do that, to bring awareness, and it's all about support. Every person that has cancer or terminal illness, I open this walk up for not just blood cancers. I open it up for all cancers. I open it up for anybody that's got a mental illness or somebody that's fighting something that they need support by the community. And that's what this is all about. It's all about raising up your lanterns and giving that person support in any way possible. And you're not alone when you're fighting this. And what I mean by that, we have these red lanterns, and these are for anybody that is walking in support of somebody that has leukemia. And it is called Light the Night, so the little thing about it, they do light up. So
sweet.
we do this in the evening, so you can actually see these light up when everybody's walking around downtown. And plus, it helps us from getting hit by cars or driving downtown and so forth.
Or someone saying, hey, what are these cool lights?
But it gets attention. I mean, people see us walking, and it gets attention. Then the next lantern it's a gold lantern. I always called it a yellow lantern, so you can tell I'm colorblind, and I was in retail for 30-some years. So I explained that one. But the gold lantern is carried by everybody that is walking, that is remembering somebody that has been lost to cancer or leukemia.
And this one's important to you.
This one is important to me, and it's important to a lot of people, because the white lantern is for everybody that is surviving blood cancer or any type of cancer or illness for our walk. And most people would not, they go, Dave, why do you bring this publicly? Well, it is a weakness, but it is a strongness, because I can't let everybody down. I'm not giving up. So if I don't tell anybody, I had an excuse that I gave up, and no one knows why. But I want to bring awareness that, hey, I don't look sick, but I do have an illness. And leukemia is not an outward disease most of the time. It's what you feel inside, and it's how you feel inside. So when people come up to me and say, Dave, you look healthy, I go, thank you very much. But I don't feel that great today.
Yeah. And if we truly knew the battles that you were going through physically,
mentally, it's a mental game. That's between diagnosis and going to the doctors. It's a mental game. I don't envy anybody that has cancer. My worst enemy, I wouldn't wish cancer upon.
I know I worked with Southern Ohio survivors for a number of years, and just in the people we came across and learning what they were going through, difficult to swallow that.
Yeah, everybody has a different journey. And with leukemia or any type of cancer, people ask, why can't the doctors diagnose? And why can't they come up with a cure for it? Well, everybody reacts differently to every cancer. Not one case is like the other case. So you have a team of people trying to come up with the best solution for you.
We were talking before going on the air here. Did you have any signs leading up to your diagnosis?
That's kind of a open question. I can honestly say no. I had made an appointment to do my annual physical, trying to do the good thing to stay healthy and keep healthy. During the doctor's visit, I was asked, how do you feel? I go, really, the only thing is I'm feeling fatigued and tired. So they do the blood work, and they run the blood work. I get a call again saying, well, your white blood count's elevated. We need to refer you to an oncologist, hematologist. So right there, I'm like, oh, boy, this is not good news. What is it? And they don't tell you what it is or what their concern is. So then you wait another 30 days. So, no, I was feeling perfectly fine until that.
I think that's where the mental part begins, because suddenly your mind is just racing, trying to figure out what it could be. And here, in the meantime, you're waiting on a test result.
Yep. And you're doing what they tell you not to do, scroll the web to figure out what you got and what your diagnosis is. And then you start reading the worst, and you're like, I've got to stop. Just put the computer away, wait for the results. And that's really what you got to do through your whole journey. You can't look at the web for any disease because, again, everything's different. Yeah. And they just tell you to wait and see.
You're coming up on 10 years now.
9 years. I passed the 9-year mark in July. So, yeah, I'm going on to the 10-year.
But there was a part in time where you didn't know that you might see 9 years.
When I was diagnosed at that time, in the research of leukemia, they said your average lifespan could be 4 to 10 years, depending on how the disease progresses. Yeah. My disease, the first year or two, it was sort of stable. And then all of a sudden, my lymph nodes started really swelling. My spleen started really swelling. My counts went way up. And it was to the point I had to make a decision on what to do because the rate I was going, it was not going to happen. And I was probably at stage 4 by the end of 2017. In 2018, I went into the trial.
Yeah. Well, again, it's a blessing that you are here today to be able to talk about it.
It's a blessing to have people like you to invite me here to support and give me the support that I need and everybody else. And it's also about bringing awareness. It's not, like I said, it's not about me. I'm just paving a road for the youth right now. So whatever, like I said, I was a guinea pig, and I'm still a guinea pig, but maybe they can figure out how to cure this so a young child, when I'm long gone, has a chance to fight this and live a normal life.
Yeah. How have you embraced life since the diagnosis and also seeing some success with this trial?
You look at life differently. I was lucky I was in a situation where I had planned to retire at 55. I was 49 when I was diagnosed, and my stress level was so high. It's probably why I got sick with leukemia, to be quite honest with you, because you couldn't sleep at night. Stress is a deadly thing, and the doctor said, you got to get rid of your stress. The worst thing for cancer patient is stress. So I made the decision at that time that I'm going to focus on my health. And if I take a couple of years off, then that's what I'm going to do. I think I told you earlier my doctor in Kansas City only took me to a certain point. And then I had researched, and I reached out to one of my friends from high school, Ben Anderson. He works for Eli Lilly. He develops drugs that are for non-liquid cancers. He asked his colleagues where to go. Where can this guy go to get the best care? So he asked them. He came back and goes, Dave, you need to go back to the James. The number one guy with the kind of leukemia you have is at the James. So guess what I did? I packed up. I got approval to come into the James, moved 700 miles. My brother helped me move. It was hot. It was nasty, but we did it. I got here, and I got really sick when I got here, but it was all worth the long run, and I'm here 9 years later.
Yeah, well, we're happy for that. For those who want to participate Thursday night, what do they need to do?
All you need to do is come down to 141 West Water Street. And most people that live in Chillicothe know this great gift shop that's called the Picture This, and it is owned by Lynn and George Berry. And it's like the Buckeye headquarters for Chillicothe, our Southern Ohio. She has been very, I got to thank her for letting me use her facility to start this walk. And people can go in there and shop before the event. So really, all you got to do is show up. We have registration at 6 o'clock. Really, it's a simple procedure. I ask you to sign a waiver. I ask you what kind of lantern you want. I will let you know there's limited numbers of the gold and white, because this is all really scavenged from past walks, because it does cost money. We are volunteer. We're not on a national walk list, so I don't get a supply of lanterns every year. So it's use what I've got. So, and then we have a time that you can write on a little blood drop a message that you want to remember somebody or give somebody encouragement, and we hang that up on Lynn's window in her shop, and she leaves those up for a while. So it's just like a supportive message, and pretty much simple. And then it's fellowship, and then at 6:30, I'll get up and give my spiel, and have everybody support the people that have illnesses. And then we go out downtown and walk. And if anybody wants to leave the walk and go to one of our local breweries and grab a cold beer or get a sandwich from one of our restaurants, I think it's the Witch Walk on Thursday, so you're going to have a bunch of witches walking around too. So they can go shopping too. So it's just a fun night. We walk down Water Street, walk down Payne Street, go down 2nd Street, past the Poorhouse, Mulberry, down Main Street, past Globe, and then we go right down Payne Street and Water Street. So it's about a mile. We're usually done by 7:30, and it's usually a good evening. And I think this Thursday it's going to be 75 degrees.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be cold. It's going to be a nice evening.
Yeah, if, at worst, probably 63. So I think we all can walk in that.
I definitely can walk in that.
And there's a song, This Little Light of Mine, I'm going to let it shine. And that's what we want people to do this Thursday.
Definitely.
Now, I should have mentioned this at the start of the show. There is a QR code on the screen here. So scan that with your smartphone. That will take you right to your registration page, right?
Correct. I mean, it's that simple. You scan it. Actually, you cannot register online because this year the LLS changed the systems. All you can do is donate online.
Okay.
They've taken us off the national walk list for some reason. So last year I could register, but this year we can't. And it's actually made it a lot simpler.
Yeah. But you can donate there. So scan that QR code and make a donation. Help Dave reach and surpass the goal.
That would be... I thank you in advance for any help. Not necessarily donation. You don't have to donate. You can come down and just support. Again, it's for building awareness. And the money is secondary, and I know people are strapped, but if I can build awareness, maybe in the future we can up the ante of our goals.
Absolutely. Dave Reitz, thank you again for what you're doing.
Thank you very much for bringing me down here and supporting.
Sure thing. Light the Night. It's coming up Thursday, October 12th. Make sure you're there. 6 o'clock for the registration, and then 6:30, as he says, I'll give my spiel. And then, I think spiel goes in with Oktoberfest type speak.
It could be. If you want to throw a sock in my mouth, go ahead.
But then get ready to make your walk through downtown Chillicothe, and you'll enjoy the walk. Absolutely. Dave Reitz, I'm Dan Ramey. You've been watching a special edition of Litter Media Live, and thanks again to Classic Brands for sponsoring this segment here on Litter Media.